The neighbors often joked that Walter Ironwood Henderson could make the wind stand still with a glare. At 74, he carried the reputation of being the strictest man in Willow Creek, a small town where people still waved from porches and teenagers still helped carry groceries for the elderly. But his 3 Gen Z grandkids, Maya, Eli, and Jonah, didn't laugh about it. "Grandpa won't even let us breathe," Jonah muttered one summer morning as they stood on the porch of Walter's weathered farmhouse. "No phones. No snacks. No sitting. No fun." Maya, the oldest, pushed her glasses up. "Mom said he needs company." Eli shrugged. "He needs therapy." What they didn't know was that behind that stern frown, Walter carried a loneliness scarred from years of loss, his wife gone, his friends past, his farm quiet. Structure was all he understood. Structure kept him from collapsing. But the kids didn't know that yet. And the old man didn't realize he was about to learn the bitter lesson he needed. The hook, a clash of generations. The trouble started 10 minutes after they arrived. "You don't need those things here," Walter growled, pointing at their phones like they were weapons of destruction. "Out. All of them." Maya held hers close. "Grandpa, we just got here. Rules are rules." Eli whispered, "Bro's running a prison camp." Within minutes, the kids stood barefoot in the backyard, their phones locked in a wooden box like contraband. "Today," Walter declared, "you'll work. Real work. Not tapping screens." Jonah groaned loudly enough to scare a chicken. And so began the longest day of their lives. They hauled water. They fed chickens. They trimmed branches. Walter supervised every movement, arms crossed, eyes sharp, as if missing a single leaf was a federal offense. By noon, the kids were exhausted, sunburnt, and plotting their escape. But then something unexpected happened. The unexpected turn, a break in the armor. It happened when Walter asked Eli to bring in a stack of old photo albums from the barn. The boy returned covered in dust and strangely quiet. I found this," he said, handing a torn leather journal to his sister. Walter froze. The journal belonged to his late wife, Evelyn. Eli hadn't meant to intrude. He was just curious. But curiosity had torn open a part of Walter that had stayed locked away for decades. "Put that back," Walter said sharply, reaching for it. But Maya opened it first. On the front page was a simple sentence written in delicate handwriting. "Walter always thinks he has to be strong for everyone, but I wish he'd let someone be strong for him." The words struck the room like lightning. Walter's jaw tightened. His breath hitched. For the first time, the kid saw something crack in him, pain, regret, longing. "Give it to me," he whispered. But Maya gently closed the journal and held it with both hands. "Grandpa, why didn't you tell us you missed her?" Walter turned away. "Talking won't change anything." "Maybe not," Jonah murmured, "but pretending nothing hurts doesn't help either." The words were simple, childlike, but they pierced deeper than any lecture. For the first time in his long life, Walter realized he wasn't the only one carrying something heavy. The bitter lesson: compassion goes both ways. The 3 grandkids sat with him under the old oak tree, the same tree where Walter had once proposed to Evelyn, the same tree where he had carved the initials half a century earlier. "I wasn't always like this," Walter said quietly. "After your grandmother passed, I didn't know how to talk to anyone. Work was the only thing that made sense. I thought if I kept everything strict, nothing would fall apart." Maya touched his arm gently. "But Grandpa, everything already fell apart." He closed his eyes. That was the bitter lesson he had avoided facing. He had tried so hard to control everything that he had forgotten how to feel. He had pushed away the only people he had left, his grandkids, because he was afraid of losing more. Eli, who rarely spoke, whispered, "We're not trying to replace Grandma, we just want to know you." Walter inhaled shakily. In that moment, the kids saw something shift, like winter softening into spring. He wasn't Iron Will. He was just a man who had forgotten how to let people in. The act of compassion, healing begins. They spent the rest of the day differently. Jonah taught Walter how to record a voice memo on his phone. Walter acted annoyed, but secretly loved hearing Evelyn's favorite songs again. Maya showed him how to make a digital photo album, scanning old Polaroids from the barn. Walter laughed softly when a picture of him in bell-bottom jeans appeared. Eli, who had ADHD and always felt misunderstood, surprised Walter by repairing an old windmill gear using a YouTube tutorial. The old man was stunned. "You're handy," Walter said. "You're proud?" Eli asked. "More than proud." That small sentence healed something in Eli that he didn't even know needed healing. Walter didn't realize that compassion wasn't just something he could receive. He could also give it. That night they ate dinner on the porch. No rules. No barking commands. No wooden box holding their freedom hostage. Just 4 people sharing stories, laughter, and the soft hum of cicadas drifting through the warm air. For the first time in years, Walter felt like he could breathe. The emotional climax, a promise under the stars. As the sky turned indigo, Walter looked at his grandkids, 3 souls who had taught him more in one day than life had taught him in decades. "I don't want to be the reason you dread visiting," he said. "I want to be someone you run toward, not away from." "You can be," Maya said softly. "It's not too late," Eli added. Walter swallowed hard. "Then let me try again." Jonah grinned. "Does that mean we get our phones back?" Walter chuckled, a warm, genuine sound none of them had ever heard before. "Yes," he said, "but maybe you could show me how to use one, so I can send you pictures of the farm. And maybe, talk more." This time, it wasn't the kids who learned a lesson. It was him. The heartwarming ending, the new Willow Creek tale. From that summer forward, Walter's farmhouse became the grandkids' favorite weekend spot. Not because of chores. Not because of rules. But because of something far more powerful. Connection. The old folks in Willow Creek still told stories about Ironwell Henderson, but the kids smiled every time they heard it. Because they knew the truth. He wasn't Ironwell. He was just Grandpa Walter. A man who learned, through 3 stubborn Gen Z grandkids, that love requires softness, not strength. Openness, not order. And that sometimes the bitter lessons are the ones that set your heart free.